We cannot afford to fail life. She is all we have. However, people fail life by not having the right values. It is because of improper values that life turns sour, and so do those who live life without proper values. When people lose their values, they lose their integrity. And when people lose their integrity, they lose everything. And it is all downhill from there. Nothing matters without integrity. It is the backbone of our souls, and it is the foundation of our life. Without integrity, a man's word is meaningless, and this is the state of the world in so many ways. People lose sight of the importance of life. They get caught up in greed, hubris, and instant gratification. So many parents fail to teach and rear their children with proper values, and so children grow into adults without the value for anything at all. Some parents spend so little time with their children teaching them what really matters. Instead, they expect school teachers to raise their children. However, even the school system is destined to fail on behalf of greed and blindness. I predicted and saw this happening years ago as my wife was disrespected and mistreated by the administration of the schools that lacked proper values and had no respect for their teachers, nor did they have the interests of the students in mind. My wife's master's degree no longer mattered because of the administration was no longer interested in teachers with master's degrees in higher education. They cut corners wherever and whenever they could. They only cared about what they could get away with and make the most money. As schools now are run ineptly because of the perpetual lessening of state and federal funding and the increasing requirements of testing and accountability. Some administrators would rather keep their courses in sports going strong and get rid of technology. To keep parents happy, they perpetually choose sports over whatever elective they can get away with. So it is that children will grow up without the proper aptitude and proficiency in technology. As a direct result, some graduates from high school cannot even enter the armed forces because they don't have the necessary aptitude and proficiency to sign up. And unfortunately, it's going to get worse before it gets better if people do not recognize the need for proper values and proper education. We have one of the greatest inventions of our time, the internet. It is a household word. Now people can meet people in other countries that they otherwise would not have. People can Skype, tweet, post, and take selfies with their cell phones. However, there comes with it a price for such instant gratification. The attention span of the average adult is now 8 seconds or less, which is less than that of a goldfish. The reading level for the average adult is 7th and 8th grade. I hear children these days saying they hate books, so now more and more people are reading less and less, and as a result, one of the greatest treasures and resources of the mind suffers due to a lack of interest, and that is imagination, which according to Einstein is more powerful than knowledge. Imagination is responsible for everything that man, woman has created by their own hand. Imagination allows us to look beyond the horizon to better things. Without it, what do we have? The majority of children don't want to use their imagination. They don't want to read and they don't want to work. And so opportunities die due to a lack of interest and initiative. I spent 4 years living on the streets. However, my reading skills, sociable skills, interpersonal skills, and writing skills are greater than that of the average adult. And I have to wonder, what is the excuse for such negligence? Have they had it too easy? Is it because few people care anymore, that they want it all now, and they don't want to work for it? I have been writing for 4 decades now. However, I am not a successful writer. Sure, I've had work published, but it goes unread, because either people have no interest in what I write, or they have no interest in reading and using their imaginations. People would rather see the movie rather than read the book, and now what is written anymore is offered by Redbox or Netflix is crap. Had I known this years ago, I would have probably opted not to write as much as I have. But I had dreams, I had drive, I had commitment, only to see it fail to reach fruition, because it isn't how good a person is anymore with imagination and the written word. When people don't want to read, and so being a successful writer these days is like being struck by lightning 3 times. It is no longer what you know or how good you are. It is a matter of luck, who you know, and being in the right place at the right time. I was offered a contract for a novel that had taken me 5 years to write. It was of the horror fantasy genre, and it was a large book, 800 plus pages. And the publisher wanted to break it down into 3 novels. He was excited about it, and it was true horror. Quite visceral, quite intelligent. It was enough to frighten my wife. And those who read the work wanted to see it complemented by the silver screen, and then appeared as a series on Netflix and Amazon. But, unfortunately, as luck would have it, the editor didn't want visceral horror. Instead, she wanted something along the lines of The Woman in Black. She didn't want to edit my work because it was too visceral. And so the contract became null and void. As it stood, the editor's last book she wrote was one on koala bears. Oh, but my luck as writing business hasn't been a business at all. It has been for shit. And as a result, it's been extraordinarily discouraging. I wonder what I am doing here. I feel often like I am wasting my time with anything I try to do, and yet still I write. I'm not entirely sure as to why I write. Perhaps it is as simple as the fact that I write because I can, or perhaps it is because I believe that I have something important to share. On the other hand, perhaps it is because I have always wanted to be an entertainer that believes in intellectual stimulation and wondrous entertainment. I try to offer something that is out of this world, something that people haven't seen before. I don't much care for small talk. I never have. I am more interested in intellectual stimulation, and the more thought I give it, the more I wonder, where is my place on this planet? Wherein the president from my country can get away with untruths and lack of integrity in class, where he can say, grab 'em by the pussy, and get away with it, and where lack of intellect is accepted, where excuses are common practice, and where collusion with the enemy is allowed. I don't know about you, but I prefer that my president were a gentleman rather than act the part of something he is not. So again, I ask, where is my place on this planet? If I had my druthers, I would rather live on a planet where different races have diverse beliefs and religion, and yet can coexist harmoniously, working together to create great things, where there is no need, no place for war, and where the wonders of the world and space can be explored in unity.